I will be visiting 5 abandoned Chuck E. Cheese locations that you might remember from your childhood, starting with this one located in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. This Chuck E. Cheese opened in March 1993 with a 2-stage. There was many different stages where the animatronics would sit, but most of them you don't even need to know for this video. The 2-stage was fairly common and was called that because Chucky was separate from the rest of the band. This would remain until August 2018 when this location got the 2.0 remodel, which includes new signage, a dance floor, and removing the animatronics for a giant screen. However, this remodel didn't last too long, with this place permanently closing on March 30th, 2024. Well, this Chuck E. Cheese definitely got destroyed. Looks like someone blew up the wall right there. I guess they're really about to remodel this place like crazy if it requires all of that right there. But what's funny is, as you can see on the building itself, this was actually a 2.0 location. Usually they only shut down ones with the animatronics, but this one was already remodeled and they still closed. I also want to point out, this is a very unique building. You got the front part right here off to the side kind of, and then you have this whole room of windows. And speaking of these windows, you can see Chuck E. Cheese paper was put on them to try to cover it up, but we got a little piece right there. Yeah, you really can't see much anyway. My camera's like out of focus. Maybe I can try this side right here. You can see a little bit more with this right there, but it's mostly just construction stuff, which is not surprising when you see the front entrance. I will not be walking up there, but you can see it says danger construction area, keep out. And like I mentioned before, this giant hole is there. And then behind the building over here, you can see a bunch of concrete was ripped out. I'm not sure what they plan on doing with this building, but it's definitely not Chuck E. Cheese, I can tell you that right now. After filming this video, it was revealed this building became a phantom fireworks. I guess they tested some of them indoors. Next location is this Chuck E. Cheese that was in Bridgewater, New Jersey. I've actually made multiple videos visiting this location before it closed, like this one where I was messing around with my friends, and even seeing it one last time before it shut down forever. Rest in peace, Raging Ape, you will be missed. I go into the entire history of the location, but to give a quick recap, it opened on February 7th, 2000 and permanently closed April 7th, 2024 as a last of its kind location. And that was because it was home to the last interactive console that were a part of the Studio C alpha stages. These were meant to resemble Chucky as a late night talk host and allowed kids to interact with it. Over time, this feature went away in every location except this one. Unfortunately, when this place shut down, the console was thrown away. However, it was saved and is currently being fixed up to get it running again. Being back at this location feels extra special because I've been here so many times now. But as for the building itself, it pretty much looks the exact same as it did the last time I was here. The only big difference is over here where they put up this banner so someone can buy this building. New information has come out after filming this where it's confirmed that this location will become a Spirit Halloween. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm excited to see that. Up on the top there used to be the logo. It had the original Phase 3 one, and then they changed it to a newer look, but now nothing remains. Sometimes you can see a label scar because they usually end up being on the building for so long, but you can't see anything like that with this building. And the same thing can be said over here. It used to spell out Chuck E. Cheese, but there's nothing left behind. But right under that, we have the classic red doors. You can see it still has this sign up where it lets you know this location has permanently closed. Now around the back, this sign used to say Chuck E. Cheese, but it looks like they replaced it. That sign was one of the only things left that told you this was a Chuck E. Cheese. And then as for the inside, it's kind of hard to see because pretty much all the windows are boarded up. However, there's this spot up here, so we'll take a look real quick. From the looks of it, I don't think much has changed. You can still tell it was once a Chuck E. Cheese, but there's pretty much nothing left. Now we head on over to a grass field. Let me explain. What used to sit here was a Chuck E. Cheese located in Burlington, New Jersey. It opened on January 31st, 2002 with a Studio C alpha stage, and it kept all the old features until it unfortunately closed on October 2nd, 2016. However, there really isn't much documented about this location with only a few videos and pictures out there. But I do have some of my own, with this one being my personal favorite. Who doesn't want a picture with a horse butt? But can I point out real quick how dark the lighting used to be? I loved that as a kid. It felt like I was entering another world while watching the animatronic show. But now they like to go with the more modern style of everything being super bright. I'll always miss this lighting, mostly because of the nostalgia. Yeah, Yeah, I'm really not going to stick around here too long because there's nothing to even talk about. I mean, seriously, if you drive by here, you would never guess that a Chuck E. Cheese location once sat here. Now they just have this giant building with a fence around the entire thing. Right across the street, you can see all the construction happening that's going on around here. So it was really just a matter of time when this Chuck E. Cheese was going to go. Now we visit a Chuck E. Cheese that just recently closed, and that would be the location in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. This opened on December 20th, 2000 with a Studio C Alpha stage once again. The stage was nothing unique, but this store had some old artwork I would have loved to see. However, before I could do that, it closed on September 15th, 2024. And now it looks like it's already going to become another business. As you can see, this Chuck E. Cheese is right in the middle of getting changed. You can see construction happening all around it. The building still has that classic Chuck E. Cheese look, and at the end there, you can actually see where the sign used to be. They haven't painted over that yet. Now, unfortunately, I never got to this location when they were open, but I wish I had, because they had some really cool old art pieces, with one of my favorites being Chucky in the old-timey photo booth thing. I wish I got to see that in person, but unfortunately I never was able to come here. And in case you have any sliver of hope that there's something left behind inside, there isn't at all. I mean, for starters, you have the dumpster right here, which is literally filled to the top, and just from standing right here and looking in the window, I can just see there's nothing left. Before we look at the last location, I had to mention this Chuck E. Cheese that had an interesting change. Located in Berwyn, Pennsylvania, this opened in September 2000 with none other than a Studio C Alpha stage, of course, but eventually would close in 2020 when the company was shutting down many of their locations due to filing for bankruptcy. However, in a strange turn of events, in late 2022, a thrift store took over the building with parts of Chuck E. Cheese still remaining, like these signs around the building and being able to see the animatronic stage. I did a whole video exploring this place, so if you're interested in seeing everything they have, you can check that out. But now it's time to see the final abandoned Chuck E. Cheese, which would be this one, located in Hagerstown, Maryland. It opened on July 28th, 2005 with a Studio C Beta and Kappa stage mixed. Finally, something new. The Beta and Kappa stages were more simple versions of the Alpha ones, but some locations mixed those together for whatever reason. Unfortunately, it would all come to an end on April 7th, 2024. Now, this is what I call an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese. It overall has that classic Chuck E. Cheese design, from the logo to the purple colors and everything else. Up on the top there, you can see where the Chuck E. Cheese logo was, and it left a pretty clear scar behind because of how the sun hits the building. As you make your way around the side of the building, you can clearly see where another logo was. That's the outline of Chucky right there. And then around the other side of the building, it's the exact same thing. You have the sign that was once right up there. Making your way up to the building, you have the red classic doors, and then if you go up closer, you can see this sign where it says this location is closed. But now let's get to the part you all been waiting for, and that's me trying to see if there's anything left behind inside. Most of the time when locations close down, they cover up the windows, making it hard to see stuff, but every once in a while you can find a little spot that's open, like this one right here. I can't really make out too much. All I can really see is the front counter, and that looks to be about it. But over here on this side, there's another hole. Yeah, you can't see anything with that. I'm guessing they put the blinds down and then paper on the windows as well, just in case if the paper fell, it's still covered up. That's every abandoned Chuck E. Cheese location. Make sure to subscribe and buy merch. Link in the description.